Mr. President has never missed the opportunity to show his commitment to the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to their training, to the promotion of their professionalism, and to providing the equipment for which or with which the armed forces will carry out their duties as the guardians of our security, our sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Please give my boss. On record that has provided the military with the most sophisticated, the most pricey, and the quantity and quality of equipment with which to perform their duties. And I feel sure that by the end of his tenure, by around May next year, Nigeria will be a safer, more secure country than when he assumed office as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic. From everyday governance of state-society relations and the delivery of health care, of education, and of other social services to the organization of citizen safety and security at home and abroad, and the management of cross-border ties, the impact and consequences of ICTs are making themselves felt in every way and in every sphere. Even in the conduct of war, is entering an entirely new age with the increasing deployment of internet and satellite technologies alongside innovation in the deployment of drones and hypersonic weaponry. The ICT revolution is already producing massive changes in the conduct of politics among nations. Change is also taking place in global climate patterns. It is no longer news to most people on our planet that global temperatures have been warming at an alarming rate in recent years, creating an emergency that leaders are seeking to address under the auspices of the United Nations. The impact of global climate change is already being felt inter alia in the form of frequent and unusually ferocious storms of various categories, the increasingly unpredictable weather patterns that disrupt our long-established sense of the seasons, of agricultural cycles and pastoralist activities, and the frequent and devastating wildfires in forested land sparked or fueled by high temperatures and winds. Higher temperatures are also claiming lives in increasing numbers, either directly in erstwhile fully temperate regions of the world or through the droughts that they unleash in different parts of the tropics. Most recently, the flood in Pakistan submerged one-third of the country with over 1,300 people dead. The consensus is now widespread, although the required collective political will is still lacking, that unless serious mitigation and adaptation steps are taken to slow and eventually reverse global climate change, humanity may be headed for a serious disaster in the interim. There are many implications of climate change for governance, for social policy, for food security, for population movement, for intercommunal relations, and national defense, which are already playing themselves out. Like other places around the world, our country, Nigeria, has not been spared these consequences, even if their manifestation and impact may be uneven across jurisdictions. Indeed, across Nigeria, various climate-related conflicts have emerged and played out violently, eroding intercommunal peace and solidarity, fueling conflict over access to water resources and to pasture, and giving birth to various forms of criminality, local and cross-border, including especially in the Lake Chad Basin. It has not been uncommon in world history that the shift from one dominant or hegemonic order to another have either involved wars or have been integrated and delivered in the context of war. In the context of the ongoing shift in the balance of power and influence which we are witnessing around us, it's important therefore that adequate and timely preparations are made to protect our core national interests, including the safeguarding of our independence and territorial integrity, the advancement of the welfare and dignity of our people, and the assertion of the rightful place of our country and continent at the red level of civilization. To do so, we must prepare ourselves for various scenarios and develop appropriate action plans that flows from them. These are responsibilities that belong to all of us as leaders and citizens, insofar as success in meeting them will be to our collective benefit and pride. Failure will as well mean our collective defeat and shame. Defeat, however, will be too costly for us as a nation, for Africa as a continent, and for all persons of African descent around the world to complete. National security, national defense is a collective responsibility and must not be assigned to one person or a group of persons. Contemporary change in the international system is unfolding at multiple levels and in several sectors simultaneously. Some of the key aspects of change are also interconnected, playing themselves out in a manner that is mutually reinforcing. Demographically, we are witnessing a process of the recomposition of population on a global scale, which has seen large-scale aging in one part of the world and massive youthfulness in the other, amidst an overall continuing growth in the number of humans on the planet. Thus, whereas in some parts of the world, population growth rates are negative in the worst cases, and the proportion of the old is higher or accelerating more quickly compared to the young, in some other parts, such as in Africa, growth rates remain relatively high, and the youth comprise as much as 60% of the total population. As it pertains to our national security, and without prejudice to the recalibrations that are already being carried out, a comprehensive approach is required, which combines the internal security of the state with the security of the people within an integrated human security paradigm. So we must think in terms of national security, not just the security of our borders, because you can have the security of the territory of Nigeria, but the insecurity of its people. So the human security, the security of our people, in terms of their access to food, to shelter, to means of livelihood, are essential part of our national security apparatus and national security concerns. Health, food, housing, security of the generality of the people contribute to and as important as the measures that we take to police our communities, root back criminality, and maintain domestic peace and harmony. There once was a time when it seemed right to focus attention primarily on how to secure liberal peace. Today, the lessons of experience teach us that the developmental peace must be cultivated for security to be sustained. When empowered citizens concretely experience and live the bargain, being bona fide members of their political community, the battle for national security will have been half won.
As we embark on the preparations for the graduation ceremony of 69 regular course and postgraduate students of this great institution, we must reflect why the nation looks up to the brilliant and outstanding minds who have had the privilege to learn from the perimeter of this academy. This ceremony is not merely to celebrate your capability to excel in challenging atmosphere, but to remind you of the life after this place as you set out to pursue the careers and specializations which you have evidently been trained to stand out. Today's lecture, National Security, Defense and Diplomacy in an Evolving World Order, is a topical and stimulating intervention in this uncertain period of global security threats and the dilemma before our beloved country. I therefore urge everyone to pay attention to our esteemed guest lecturer, who is an internationally renowned scholar, diplomat, public administrator, and frontline global affairs specialist who has devoted his entire life to serving our fatherland and advising its foreign policy decision makers in the past decades. Today, his vast scholarship across generations is a catalog of references for students, scholars, and policy makers all over the world. Before I invite our guest lecturer to the stage, I want to briefly share that our graduates have benefited from unprecedented revitalization of training curricula we have designed both for the military and academics to meet our contemporary security challenges.
A round of applause, please.
Are you set? Are you done? Okay.